Hi, my loves, and welcome back to a brand new episode here on You Can and She Will. If you're new around here, hi, I'm so happy you made it here, and I just want to take that moment and welcome you in my community. I'm Catherine Louise. I'm a business and life coach and a communication trainer, and I know it's been a while. If you've been here before, it's been a while. It's been a summer, let's say. But also, I've been loving TikTok lately, like so much. I don't know. It is probably that thing that you can like upload videos, I believe, even up to 10 minutes. And I've just been loving videos, making videos for you, anything between like 2 to 4 minutes. And I've started creating a series called Become That Woman. So make sure to check that out. No matter where you're watching or listening to this, by the way, you will find all of the good stuff, all of the links down below. So make sure to check them out. And also, I started sort of like another series where I talk about life and career advice from a woman in her 40s, which will have to be me. Oh, hi. Because I'm actually about to turn 42. So, life advice from a woman in her 40s to women in their 30s, because I have figured out that there are quite a lot of things I so wish I would have known just like 10 years ago, maybe just even like 5 years ago. So, anywhere in my 30s, that kind of wisdom would have, and I truly believe that would have changed the trajectory, oh, hello, ma'am, of my life, like 100%. Because there are things you just don't see when you're in the midst of it. I hope that makes sense. And that's actually why I decided, instead of just making short little videos about it, I really wanted to do like a proper sit down podcast episode on that as well. Because I feel like there are so many things that if you don't know, like obviously knowledge is power, that's what we're here for, and it can 100% be the shortcut, like the sweet cheat code to life, right? And I really want to hand you the tools so you can live the life that you've been dreaming and desiring. I think that's what we're here for, the good stuff. Design the life you love. It's no surprise I call my podcast that way. So the one thing I really want to say, and I did a short video on that from my TikTok, I believe like 2 days ago, and at the moment where I'm filming this, and it was about how you should stop stressing over just really anything in your life in your 30s. And what I mean by that is in your 30s, and that is specifically for women. It feels like this is the decade where you want to do the career, where but also want to get married if you're not married already, where you really want to have at least one child, right? Depending on what your family planning looks like. And it's like there is so much that we women have to do or fulfill or accomplish in our 30s. It almost feels like, and I just realized that when I did that short form video, it feels like our whole life is supposed to be lived in the 30s. Like the whole foundation for the rest of the entirety of our lives is supposed to be done in our 30s. And there is so much pressure. And I don't think social media makes it any better because obviously it's like, if you know me, you know I'm a huge, huge fan of Pinterest. Like, I love Pinterest. I have, I don't know how many boards, and I'm just obsessed with it. But also, just like Instagram and TikTok and obviously YouTube, everything is so picture perfect, and everything just seems like, you have to live this kind of life. Otherwise, you're almost not a worthy human kind of being. And what makes it even more difficult on us women is when we see our peers from college, whatever, when they start living that life, when they like start fulfilling all of those expectations. when actually suddenly they do have that career and they are getting engaged and then they're getting married and oh, congratulations, there's the firstborn. And you're still trying to figure your life out, right? It feels like so much pressure on you because you almost seem to be behind in life, if that makes sense. And I feel like for us women, it's different. And I'm going to explain that because for males, obviously, if they get married in their 40s when they have an established career, oh, that's fine. Oh, that's cool. Like, even if you're 50 and you're a male, you're good. Like, just get married and settle now because you've lived your life. Well, for us women, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I know from working with my clients, from friends and family, and also a club I'm in, which is, it's a club for working moms. Um, it's like you have to almost defend yourself if you decide for yourself you first want to have a career and you first want to have an established career and then have kids. And not talking about the fact having kids and working. I mean, in the US, that culture of working moms is quite different than over here in Europe. 100%, because over here, specifically in Germany, you still have to somewhat justify yourself if you really want to work like and really full time, like the audacity, right? It's a thing. It's very much different over here than in the US, I feel. But that kind of pressure, and on top of that, still being you as a person. Whereas there are people who are really just trying to figure themselves out and maybe would love to go back to college in their 30s. And that almost feels like makes them a unicorn in not a good way, right? Because you should have your life figured out in your 30s. And I really want to say, almost scream out loud, like, stop stressing. Whatever they do, whatever they accomplish, however happy, dappy, and love they seem, just let them. This got nothing to do with you. If you are still trying to figure yourself out in your career and your life and just everything in your 30s, trust me, you're good. Don't worry. Your whole life is not going to be lived in your 30s, but you got decades to go. Do you have an idea about how many women start a whole new career, like completely start over their lives in their 40s, in their 50s? I think there was once a clip where they like showed like really famous personalities that have accomplished great success. And I believe like Vera Wang, the designer, I don't think she did her first dress before the end of her 30s, I believe. And there are countless of examples like that. So what I'm trying to say is that wherever you're at in life right now watching this, you're good. Because let me tell you, you can't miss what is meant for you. And instead of starting to stress yourself and get in that state of chaos, and really that stress does something with your system and your energy, which is not what we're wanting, because it's just something negative on you and will rather keep you stuck than trying to figure things out for yourself. You just have to understand that no matter where you're at in life right now, this is where you're supposed to be right now. And if you feel so stuck because of all the comparison, and I know you're not trying to compare yourself, however, if everybody around you is fulfilling the dots and living their life and you feel like something, it just doesn't feel quite right, you get in that state of obviously comparing, even if that's not the intention. So, first of all, understand you are on your timeline. Because let me hit some facts about those happy dappy people living the career. And I'm not saying that, I want to clarify that. I'm not saying that from a perspective of trying to be mean or trying to talk down or not, wishing them well. But as a matter of fact, and that's reality, people can lose their careers, people can get fired, People can get laid off and then still have to figure things out all over new. That's a part of life, and a very unfortunate one. People get divorced, like even if everybody's now happily married around you, and I pray that's what it will be like for the rest of their lives. But statistics show people can get divorced too. And, all sorts of things happen. So stop comparing yourself, your situation, your lifestyle, your career, whatever, and acknowledge that wherever you are at in your life right now is perfect. And then, really, this is also the secret to not being stuck, because chaos and stress will keep you stuck. It will keep your energy stuck. And if you want to evolve, if you want to grow, if you want to almost accelerate your growth and your path, you really want to make sure you stay aligned with who you truly are. And that leads me actually to the next point, which is be unapologetically you. Stop trying to fit in. That's also a big thing of the 30s, because in our 20s, we're all going to college or, doing things. And it's like, it seems to be fine to figure yourself out in your 20s. But however, in your 30s, you just really want to kind of like fit in. And by fit in, I mean trying to, live the life that everybody around you wants you to live. And even though they most likely come from a very loving place, specifically your family and friends, and they just want the best of you for you. However, if it doesn't resonate with you deep down inside, it's probably not the path you're supposed to be on. And I think it is important to acknowledge that. And, first of all, if you want to break free from that, because here's the thing, when everybody around you shares one opinion and it seems like you're the only person in the room thinking differently, that can feel lonely. So what I would love for you to do, and what I would love to encourage you to do, is really move in silence. Like, figure out what it is that you're wanting. Like, go ahead and do that class. Go ahead and figure yourself out, right? That's a part of your life, because as I just said, it's your life. It's supposed to be lived by you. And by not fulfilling their expectations, they might be surprised, but at the end of the day, they want to see you happy. So what you really want to do until you're like really certain and stand in your power, you want to move in silence. You really want to figure yourself out what it is that you're wanting. What is your purpose? Where do you feel aligned? Where do you really feel like you're being in your zone of genius? Because if you have figured this out, you will find the people who will love and appreciate you unconditionally just the way that you are, because they most probably also share the same interests and everything. And also, it will be much more easy for your loved ones to understand your path. Most of the times when people don't accept something, that comes from a place from not understanding. Just a side note. Another thing I really, really want to emphasize on when you're in your 30s is like when you can break free from this comparison and trying to fulfill other expectations, trying to fit in, all of those things, you really want to enjoy the moment. Like your 30s, they're good. It never gets that sweet again. Because what I'm saying is, like, I'm about to turn 42. I don't think that's like an quote unquote old age, right? You know what I'm saying? However, I mean, let me tell you, I can tell a whole lot of differences to my 30s. And when you're in your 30s, it won't feel like that at first, because, going from your 20s to your 30s, the differences are not that big. They're really not that big of a deal. I mean, like, for sure you can tell a little bit of a difference in your sleep, maybe in your skincare routine. However, then that decade from your 30s to your 40s, they hit differently. Believe me. In your 40s, you can tell, Oh, you really want to drink that water in your 30s. You really want to make sure you take those vitamins, all of those things. Like in your 40s, you will really start to see a difference in aging. And also, what you will understand is that when you can break free from the comparison, from the stress, from the chaos, from the pressure, you really want to be present. You really want to be present in the moment. All of those, what we tend to do in our 30s, this like, oh, we haven't made it this summer, just let's do it next summer. You don't want to do that. Like, really be present. Do the things now. Be happy now. Have a work life balance now. What I'm saying is, obviously, you want to invest in yourself. You want to invest in your career. You want to work hard. But you always want to make sure, too, that you actually have that time off with the people that you love. You're never going to be that young again, and you will never, time is just not going to come back. You will never be able to turn back the hands of time. Just not. And I feel like the sweet spot of the 40s that I feel like I'm just entering this is when you like really start to calm down and understand a thing or two or a trillion about life, and really are so much more connected to yourself, so much more at peace, so much more calm. And I appreciate that so much. Like, I'm loving this, believe me. But also, I understand that the things you actually really, if you could go back in time, would do differently in your 30s to enjoy life just more. And also understand that if you would do things a little bit different, like, I know if I would have done things differently in my career, I would be in a whole nother place right now in a positive way. So this is why I'm here, sharing all of those things with you. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If I would just love to chat with you. And also let me know if you want me to do this series here on my podcast too, because I think it is so fascinating to share those life and career lessons, because honestly, again, I just know my life and career would be so different if I would have heard those advices 10 years ago. So let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast to not miss out on any future episode. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.